For everyone that has been waiting forever for Square to finally remake, or even just do a HD remaster of Final Fantasy IX, you don't actually have to wait. Moguri mod is the best way to play Final Fantasy IX right now. Hugely upgrades on the original PC version in a lot of ways. Here's what it does. Moguri mod completely overhauls the visuals. That includes HD backgrounds, aided by AI and polished by hand. Because so much effort went into the polishing, it is nearly seamless. The backgrounds look incredible. They probably match more with what I see in my head when I think about Final Fantasy IX than the original. There are also HD textures for the world map, for NPCs, for monsters, battles, UI elements, pretty much everything you can think of. It gives it a nice boost to the overall visuals of the game. 3D models look nicer, UI looks more solid, and it feels like what Square should have aimed for when they brought it to PC. There have also been improvements to FMVs to make them fit better with the upgraded versions of the game. Memoria is a separate mod that has been attached to Moguri that makes it easier to adjust everything with a very simple interface. So there's a launcher with settings and a mod manager and a model viewer. The model viewer is actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be just to mess with. By pressing a button, you can see what the actual differences are in each model. It's pretty cool for people that have seen various parts of the game over and over, and they wanted to know what they'd look like in greater detail. You can zoom in, zoom out, move everything around. There's also a huge list of bug fixes, and there are now cheats, skips, and quality of life options. Going over all of those here would take a ridiculously long time, but you can see some of the details of what is added very easily in the Memoria interface, which is where you can adjust the game to your preferences. There are also now high frame rates available, 30, 60, 120 FPS. You can choose whatever you want. This is a massive improvement. The original PC port ran at like 15 to 30 FPS in battles and on the world map, sometimes dipping below 30 very noticeably. It's worth getting the mod just for the frame rates alone, in my opinion. I find it pretty difficult to play games on anything lower than like 60 FPS at this point. There's now 16:9 and 16:10 widescreen where possible, so it's not always possible to do that, but for the majority it is. So a lot of the game is fully playable in widescreen without it looking awkward and clunky. A lot of that is thanks to the improved and smooth camera, which has also been changed from the original. There are also rendering and sound improvements. Something for fans who have played the game multiple times. There are now alternative modes for battles, so you can play in turn-based mode or variations of the original ATB mode. Along with those changes, you can also adjust battle speed with a multiplier. Huge quality of life adjustment there. You can also swap between different versions of the card game Tetramaster, or you could even fully convert it to Triple Triad from Final Fantasy VIII. Some people might like that. One cool thing about Memoria is that it is a modding base for most of the other Final Fantasy IX mods. That gives you the ability to look through a menu to find any additional mods that you would want to test out and easily download them. It also automatically applies them to your game, so you don't have to do all the legwork, moving files around and all that stuff. And you can, of course, also just get rid of a mod very easily. Within those mods is an alternative orchestral soundtrack. This changes 13 of the original songs into fully orchestrated versions. So there are really a vast number of reasons to get Moguri mod, including even if you just wanted to download the main Moguri mod itself. Here's a comparison of what the game looks like side by side. As you can see, it is immediately obvious what the changes are visually, but even if you don't want the visual changes, if you don't want anything to be different than the original, I would still recommend you get the mod because of the bug fixes, the upgrades to the frame rate, and basic things like that. This is a game I think deserves more than what Square has given it so far. It deserves an entire remake, for example. But for now, we have Moguri mod, and that does a pretty good job as it is. Moguri mod has undergone a lot of changes over the years, so even if you were someone that tried it out a while back, it's still worth giving it another look. They applied all new upscales to make it look even better than before. Installation, super easy. Just download it from their website, click one button, and it applies. Then you open the game and it shows you this Memoria interface where you can find the Moguri mod at the top of the mod list. Download that, and you're done. Not really too much to it. You don't have to drag a bunch of stuff all around and do that. You'd think that at some point Final Fantasy IX will get that remake finally, or at the very least an HD remaster. Final Fantasy VIII has a remaster, though to be honest, they could have done better. So, until Square decides to do it, Moguri mod is a good alternative, and it adds a ton of features that I think bring Final Fantasy IX much closer to the quality of life that we expect in 2025. I do videos on JRPGs, Western RPGs, and story-based games, so if you like that, subscribe. Thanks for watching.